Hi, everyone. I just wanted to jump on and talk about some news that I just read about, which I think is kind of interesting, and it kind of follows along the same, sort of topic as my last video, which I talked about Twitter and how they're, Elon Musk is talking about launching banking products within a year. I might just have to show you my view for a sec. Okay, anyway, there we go. Um, this is Vancouver Island, and this is where I live. There's lots of ships and mountains and stuff out there. And so what I heard about today, just released today, is that the CFPB has proposed a rule. It's out for comment until January, and then after that, they plan to finalize the regulations. But what they're proposing to do is supervise digital payment apps. And I'm going to read a bit from some notes that I made. So basically, companies that process more than 5 million transactions a year will have the same supervisory examinations as banks and credit unions. And in the US, and this is only for the US, but the article mentions that about 17 companies would be subject to the rule. And all of those companies are mostly big tech companies. They said in the note that $893 billion move through payment services like digital wallets, and billions of dollars are stored in those apps. And they mention Starbucks and Google and Apple Pay and all that kind of good stuff. So the point is that they're going to regulate them. And the reason why they want to do that, at first, as I was reading that, as well as a presentation that Rohit Chopra, CFPB director, gave in September, is he kind of spoke about the fact that the plumbing and the pipes of our economy is the country's payment systems. I thought that was a really interesting way to characterize, something that maybe we take for granted, that it is in fact the pipes of our economy. He mentioned in his presentation that big tech have been deepening consumer engagement, they're monetizing data, they're exploiting payments fee streams, and that the use of cards over cash has significantly increased in the US over COVID. We know that they're behind Canada, but definitely making strides. 3 in 4 of 130 million iPhone users in the US activated Apple Pay, with 56 million of them making a payment in April 2023. So just in April, Apple Pay had 56 million payments. And then I was looking at, and we know that there's about 2 billion Apple iPhone users globally. So however many of those are in the US, and then however many of that does 130 million iPhone users represent. 2021, there were 25 million Google Pay users. And some further stats that were mentioned is Visa says 1 in 3 use tap to pay in the US. MasterCard says 60% of their in-person payments are contactless. And so those are, I'm going to get to the reason why I think that the CFPB is going down this path, is because their concern is that, not to mention the fact that these big tech players all have, significant number of clients and significant access to data and information, but Apple specifically doesn't allow any other provider to use the NFC near-field communication capability on the phone, other than through Apple Pay. And so what that means is that they're essentially restricting access to the market. And they make money doing it and so on. Google does not do that with Google Pay. And I think I'll say this as a quote, because I don't think I would ever say one of these words, but the concern is that big techs will erect even more gates and toll booths, preventing small firms from succeeding. So there you have it. That's the news that I read today and I thought very interesting. I wanted to just kind of summarize it for you. So, companies that do over 5 million a year in payments, 5 million financial transactions a year, actually, is how it's defined. To me, I think that that's got to be well more than 17 companies. But anyway, that will have the same supervisory examinations as banks and credit unions. Go figure. I think the U.S. is definitely moving quickly towards a more open and competitive market, certainly than Canada, unfortunately. Anyway, hope that was helpful.